Happy Wednesday, Run Try Bike community, and welcome to our Fiery Embers Show. Now, this is not a show about tips or tricks and plans to get you fitter, faster, or stronger. But if that happens, it was a mistake, and I'm sorry in advance. This show is to provide you with some laughs and levity within training and racing by having a chat with everyday athletes about absurd and interesting things, such as what is the last meal you would eat before blasting off to Mars with Matt Damon? And today I'm joined by Jennifer Comfort, who is a friend of Run Try Bike, who has answered this question more than once with two different answers, and both of them are on the slightly absurd side, without a doubt. So today we're going to catch up with her on what she's been doing in the sport of triathlon, as she was a part of the big inaugural event in Tri-Cities for the Ironman 70.3 out there. And along the way, we're going to have some laughs. So without further ado, let's make sure we get Jennifer on the show now. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
Hi, everybody. I'm great. Thank you.
Thanks for joining me again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So I mentioned in the intro, what would you eat before you blasted off into outer space on your way to Mars with Matt Damon? Your first answer was wheat thins. Then you talked to your daughter. And the second answer after talking to your daughter was animal crackers. So I don't know if it got better, but maybe the third time's a charm on something different. What would you choose today?
I'm going to stick with my second choice, animal crackers. So funny story. I was at this DECA race in Wisconsin, and there was a tent a few doors down from us that had this Costco pack of animal crackers that I looked at for 2 weeks straight. And but it was the other athletes. I couldn't go steal her nutrition. And I even texted my sister. I'm like, there's animal crackers in the tent a few doors down. I want them so bad.
You didn't even try to go over there and ask for hey, can I get a handful?
No, and they're my friends, and I'm gonna have to tell them about this, I think.
Okay, so are these the bone dry animal crackers that came in the small red box, or are they the frosted ones?
They're bone dry. I'll eat frosted ones too, but these ones were bone dry, and I ate them for 2 weeks straight.
So then with Pop-Tarts, are you going the unfrosted cardboard style Pop-Tart, or do you like the frosted style Pop-Tart?
Oh, I'm frosted on those for sure. Yes. Okay. Like I think there's a strawberry flavor maybe, or some kind of berry. Yeah.
Yeah. I love cherry and cookies and cream. Those are my two go-tos when it comes to Pop-Tarts. Fantastic.
I've never had cookies and cream. Might have to check those out.
Yeah. I mean, if you love Oreos, that's the way to go. Or at least the soy Oreos. Are you a cookies and cream fan, like cookies and cream ice cream, Oreo cookies, all of the above?
Oh, yes. I would eat all of them. Absolutely. I've never asked you, when you're blasting off to Mars, what are you going to bring? What are you having?
So, not to bring the show down, but my mother recently passed. And so it would have to be something that my mother made when I was a kid that I haven't eaten in forever. One, because I haven't lived near my mother in a long time, but two, I went plant-based. But my mother used to make, in our Puerto Rican household, it is a chuleta with arroz con gandules, which is basically a fried pork chop with rice and pigeon peas. And that meal just brings back all the memories, as being a kid and having it with my mother, my father, and my sister. So I think that would have to be the meal I had, knowing full well that Matt Damon and I are going to be on Mars eating sweet potatoes for the rest of our lives. And that would have to be that, I would think.
I love it. That's definitely lifting the show up. The memory of your mom, plus a real decent meal.
You would have to have the biggest bag or box of animal crackers. Do animal crackers come in the box nowadays, or was it a bag that you saw on the table?
It was like a plastic, gallon kind of. Yeah.
Was the athlete that it was for, were they eating them, or were they just keep skipping past?
Yes, I saw her eating them.
I love it. It's so funny, right? Endurance athletes, and we see this all the time, go to Twitter, go to Threads, go anywhere you want on social media, and they're always talking about how great their nutrition is and all of these wonderfully prepared 40% protein, 30% fat, 30% carbohydrate meals. It's unbelievable. And then you go to events and they're inhaling Twix bars and Oreo cookies and animal crackers and nothing that you would ever see them post, as something that they were eating for the day. It's such a discrepancy between the two.
It totally is. Yeah. Yeah.
it's why I love having you on here, because you keep it real with this stuff. Like, I'm gonna eat Oreos, yes, and I'm gonna eat animal crackers, and I'm gonna eat unfrosted or frosted Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, I'm just gonna listen to my body. But like my
Exactly.
athlete, like sometimes he was eating like avocado wraps with cucumbers. Like I will eat one of those too, which is quote unquote healthy, and that's good too. I think we can have both. Yeah.
100%. So, the Oreos, let's go back to that for a second. We
Hmm.
had Jason Fitzgerald, who's a coach, running coach, on our fireside chat show a few weeks ago. And I asked him, what's his favorite way to eat Oreo? And he said to me, and I had never thought of this before, but he drops the first Oreo in the milk and allows it to basically disintegrate, so that after he's done eating all of the Oreos, when he goes to drink it, it's like this rush of Oreo cookies and cream to finish it off. And I thought, no, that's genius. Like, that's really smart.
I've never heard of this.
Which is
No.
why I love hosting these shows, because I've heard of so much shit that I've never
Wow.
considered eating before. How
Yeah.
do you eat the Oreos? Like, what's your go-to method?
I'm just what I thought was quote unquote traditional, dip it in the milk and then eat it. I don't know.
Do you dip half the Oreo in, or do you dip it all the way in so that your fingers are like in the milk and get it all totally wet?
No, no fingers, just half. Just half. Yeah, definitely half. What do you do?
I eat them like aspirin. Like, there's no milk anywhere near me. I just pop them in my mouth like aspirin. I don't have time for that extra step.
That's interesting you mentioned you're plant-based. I'm pretty much plant-based at this point. I'll make some, if
Yeah,
again, I'm gonna listen to my body. But I've
right.
never actually tried Oreos with plant-based milk with soy or almond, which is what I drink now. I've only had it with cow's milk, so I don't know how that would be.
And I have zero insight. I can't help you there.
Yeah,
And I
I
have
don't know. I
no.
might have to go try it out after this.
All right, so the Oreo package, it comes with like that resealable top, right?
Yes. Yep.
So when you do that, are you going into the middle of the tray? Are you going into the side of the tray that's under the package? And then how many cookies are you taking out at a time?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I want to say I start at the top, but I don't. I think I would just go right in the middle, and three is the number that's coming to mind. I don't
3?
know why. Yes. Is that a lot or a little?
I don't know. Like, I'm normally a four packer, but it's
Okay.
ridiculous
Okay.
because I might as well just bring the whole package to the couch. Like, am I trying to get
Okay.
nutrients in my
You bring
garden?
your package of Oreos. I'm gonna have my bin, my 2-gallon bin of animal crackers, and it'd be so fun.
It'd be a blast. All right. So we talked about this in the green room just a little bit. For those of you that don't know, I ran a 6-hour looped event on a 1-mile course in Hemet, California this past weekend. And I was challenged to listen to one song for as long as I could. And the audience chose Dance Monkey. And I listened to Dance Monkey for 4 hours. So to you, Jennifer, what is one song that you would listen to on repeat? And how long do you think you could last before you toss the earbuds in the trash?
Oh gosh. Well, I'm a big T Swift fan,
Nice.
but I don't know which one of her songs I would choose. That is difficult. I'd have to go kind of through the playlist, but I will say my first song on my Spotify right now it's so unlike me kind of. It's by Zach Bryan, I think his name is. It's called Pink Skies. I don't
Sure.
know. It's kind of I don't know. So maybe I would try that one.
Wait a minute. I thought I didn't know anything about music. Like, you don't even know the guy that you put
I
on the playlist.
No, I don't. I just like it. But it would probably have to be a T Swift song. I don't know which one.
Do you know?
That's difficult.
Are you better at operating your Apple Music than I am? Like, do you know how to actually have the song go on repeat? Because I didn't.
Ma- I think I'm marginally better. And I can't believe he did that. And when I was back in the green room, I actually got on Spotify to listen to that song because I've definitely heard it.
It's a
That's
bop.
legit.
It's a
Yeah.
bop. Like, you can move to
Yeah.
it, right? Like, it's cool. But
Yeah.
for those who don't know what we're talking about, I literally have zero clue how to operate Apple Music on my phone. And so I would say, hey, Siri, play Dance Monkey every time the song ended, because I just don't know how to use the stupid thing. And I'm running next to this woman, Lisa, and I say to her, by the way, if you hear me say, hey, Siri, play Dance Monkey, it's not that I'm losing my mind. I'm just in a contest to challenge to see how long I can listen to it. And then, And then I'm running with Lori, and it dawns on me that I could ask Siri to put this song on repeat. So I've been running for like an hour, hour and a half, repeating to myself. I don't understand. And there's Siri right there.
There it goes. There she goes.
And then I finally realized, oh, I could tell Siri to put this song on repeat, and then made life a lot easier after that.
Well, I sometimes call when we're driving around. I tell my daughters to MapQuest something, and they're like, "No, there's no such thing as MapQuest." I'm like, "Yes, there is." Well, there was. They're like, "No, there's not."
It's so crazy, right? We're so worried about people being distracted today with their phones. Meanwhile, we have like this big map. We're flipping pages, trying to figure out where the hell to go. Like it's unbelievable. MapQuest. We are aging in a heartbeat.
I know.
Here, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Are you a fan of baseball? Are you a baseball fan at all?
I'm not. I will go. I love going to in-person games. Like I'll go to a Mariners game. I don't know, maybe once a year. I'm not a big follower, but you're a big baseball fan, right?
I love baseball, and right now the Mets are having a great season. And I think about this often. Like, imagine if you're at a race and they called your name out individually to walk up to the start line the way hitters at baseball games get announced, right? Now batting, number 12, Francisco Lindor, and he goes to the batter's box with a song playing. If they did that at triathlon or 100-miler or an event you're doing, now T Swift was on repeat, but this is one time they get to play a song. What's the song you're going to play as you walk up to the starting line?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Well, okay, the song that's coming to mind is "Crazy Mary" by Pearl Jam.
Okay.
You could just say it Crazy Jen. I don't know.
We're gonna have to add these.
Which is a slow song, kind of. So that's kind of weird. I don't know.
I mean, look, if you're running 100-miler, it's gonna be slow per se, right?
Yeah, totally.
You'll be taking time out there.
What about you? What song would you walk up to?
This is easy. Empire State of Mind with Jay-Z and Alicia Keys.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I'm a total New Yorker. I love it. Like everything about that song is New York for me, and so that's easy. I would absolutely love to walk up to that song.
That's a good one.
So speaking of New York is famous for its pizza and its bagels. Pre-race meal, you can only have one of the two. Which are you choosing? Are you going pizza or are you going bagels? So the night before the race.
Gosh, the night before the race. Okay, I think I would have to go. I love both of them so much. I'm gonna have to go pizza though.
All right, what are your toppings?
And then I want to save the bagel for the morning. Can I do that? Is that allowed? Come on, please.
Yeah, these are your rules. You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
All right. So what are you putting on the pizza? What are the toppings? And if you say pineapple, there might be a technical difficulty here.
I was going to, just because I know you love pineapple on pizza. I actually do. I like a good pizza margarita. Just simple tomatoes,
yes,
mozz, basil. Love it. Thin crust, like real, like I'm
like
thin.
Don't give me none of that Chicago type nonsense where it's tomato soup in a bowl. Like, come on, get out of here with this.
Wood fire thin. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Jon Stewart rant about Chicago pizza and New York pizza?
No.
Oh my goodness, you got to go to YouTube. It's old.
Okay.
It's old, but he goes on such a great rant. I have a friend who sends me a link to that YouTube video like once every year. And it just cracks me up. I can't not laugh at it every single time. It's definitely worth your time.
I'm going to. What are you choosing the night before? Are you pizza or bagels?
Yeah, I'd go pizza the night before. I would inhale an entire pie without any problems and plain. I don't need anything on it. Give me a plain cheese slice or plain pie and I'm good to go. Do you call it a pie? Like when you're like, hey, with the family, do you say we're gonna go get pizza? We're gonna get a pie. What do you call it?
Just pizza. I've never called it a pie. I wonder what my family would do if I did. I'm going to try it on them. It'd be like, is that like MapQuest?
No, you tell them you heard it from a New Yorker. It's called a pie.
I'm so going to. This is going to be fun. I might actually make that for dinner tonight just so I can call it a pie.
Perfect. And what's going to be on the bagel the next morning since you've moved the meal, you've moved the game?
Ooh, just some plain. Well, right now I'm plant-based, so I just do some plain plant-based cream cheese and toasted. Has to be toasted.
So, and
Yeah.
a plain bagel, just a plain bagel?
Yes, plain bagel, plain cream cheese. Simple. Yep, I know. Oh, boring. What would you do?
I shouldn't expect anything different from the lady who said wheat thins and unfrosted animal crackers.
Yeah. There's kind of a trend here. I don't know if it's a good one, but here I am.
You're gonna have to come down here and hang out with us so that we could work on that palate and get some flavor into this lifestyle of
Seriously.
yours. For me, pumpernickel bagel all day, every day with veggie cream cheese.
Oh,
Zero doubts. Like I know what I want. Like it's funny, right? When people walk into restaurants or in this case a bagel shop, they'll stare at the board for like hours on end before they make a decision. And I'm like, I already know what I want. I want pumpernickel bagel, lightly toasted, veggie cream cheese, and a black coffee. Let's go, kids. Like, this is New York. We don't got time for you to be staring at the board.
you know what you want. That's so good. Speaking of bagels, before my first Ironman in 2010, a long time ago, I went to the local bagel shop before I went to Coeur d'Alene, and I got a bunch of bagels, and I put like, I don't know, 2 or 3 in my special needs bags because I was like, oh, they're super calorically dense. This will be great. I got it in my special need bag halfway through and took a couple of bites, and I'm like, oh, like too dense, like too much of a good thing. It was not a good. I thought it was such a good idea, and it didn't work out how I anticipated.
It reminds me the very first Ironman. I did Ironman Texas in 2011, I think was the year.
Mhm.
Yeah, 2011. It was 108-degree feel like temp. It was boiling out there.
Yeah.
And you get on the run, and the special needs bathroom section is in, you do a loop inside like this little park before you go back out.
Mhm.
And I'm running into the special needs area. I'm on my second loop, and it's a 3-loop run. And I see this guy reach into his special needs bag and pull out a Whopper, like a Burger King Whopper. And my first thought was, good for you, dude. Like, you need your energy. That's fantastic. And then I realized, like, it's 108 degrees out here. He put
Ew.
that Whopper in that bag at like 5 a.m. this morning. It's been sitting out in the sun, baking in that plastic bag. It's got mayonnaise and ketchup and tomato. Like, I can't even begin to imagine that that was enjoyable at all.
Oh gosh, no.
Could you imagine eating a sun-baked 108-degree Whopper?
No, actually not. Oh gosh, it wouldn't end well if I
It would come right back.
no.
There's no
Yeah, it would not. But there's
outside of
some
that bagel, what's the most non-traditional thing, shall we say? So it wasn't a goo, it wasn't a gel, banana, watermelon you've consumed during any of your races, including ultras.
ooh. Oh, and, so I raced in Italy earlier this year, and at one of the aid stations, I had cheese, like this block of Parmesan cheese. It was so good. I didn't drink any of the wine. They had wine at all the aid stations too, and I didn't do that. But Parmesan cheese was I've never had that in a race, and I took a bite, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so good. And I went back to the table and took some more.
Was it little pieces or was it a hunk and you just ate it like a carrot?
Well, I think they were like kind of little, well, like medium pieces. Yeah. Yeah. So good, so delicious. And then also I trained with Rice Krispie treats this summer also. Not too crazy, but I don't know.
Now this is for ultras. Like, would you include this in your nutrition plan for, let's say, like the Ironman distance or half Ironman distance, the 13.1 or 26.2 miles at that point?
The Parmesan or the Rice Krispie treats?
Both.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure.
I would
Yeah.
imagine. Can you imagine though, like the Rice Krispie treats sitting in the sun all
They
day?
yeah, it
That
would
might
be
not taste so good after a
it would
while.
be messy. Yeah. Might not. Maybe just for a half Ironman, not a full or an ultra. I don't know.
You just made me think of something. So, announcement for Food Fight Friday coming this weekend. It's going to be about marshmallow snacks.
Oh.
So, Peeps, s'mores, Rice Krispie treats will be on the list for Food Fight Friday. coming out this Friday at noonish Pacific time. Let's say you get to pick
Oof.
which one you're gonna put on the podium. So I'll present it to you today. It's only Wednesday, but we'll get a head start. Peeps, s'mores, or Rice Krispie treats. Which one is going to take the top spot out of those three for you?
Ooh, I'm as much as I like Rice Krispie treats right now, s'mores, absolutely. I love s'mores.
And how are we roasting the marshmallow? Are you like?
Oh, we're burning it. Yeah, we're just gonna burn it.
Yeah, like I want my marshmallow to be a torch on the stick, so while I'm going into the caves with Indiana Jones, I could find my way through. I want it
Absolutely.
so burnt.
But then I peel it off and then I reburn it. So you like,
Oh,
uh-huh.
double burn?
Yeah, double burn, maybe even a triple if I'm lucky.
Oh, I've never heard of this routine.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah.
the soft part doesn't like uber melt after you peel the first layer of cookies?
No, just take the charred part off and then reburn it. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. See, this is why you talk to
This
people, America. You just never know what you might
Look at what you learned.
Yeah, you know how to eat Oreos the proper way according to Jason Fitzgerald. You now know that you can get a double or a triple burn on a marshmallow according to Jennifer Comfort. And I've taught you how to use the repeat function on your Apple Music. See, I mean,
So
we are leaders here at Run Try Bike. Let's talk about Tri-Cities for a moment. So this was a big undertaking for you. I am extremely excited and happy and proud of you for putting on an inaugural event. Take us through a little bit of the process of getting the event into Tri-Cities, but then actually executing on it.
Yeah, so it was a development over many, many years. And so many people and different entities, government entities came together for this. So Ironman was looking at us pre-COVID, but they're also vetting different cities as well. We didn't get the contract then, and I kind of, thought it was never going to happen. And then we got Kevin Lewis is our CEO of Visit Tri-Cities. He came via St. George. So he had that relationship with Ironman from St. George. And credit to him and his team at Visit Tri-Cities. Michelle York as well. She's also one of my athletes. I love her. And she completed the 70.3. And so they came in and they announced it October of 2023, I believe, so a year ago. And the race was just a few weeks ago. Sold out at 3,100 athletes.
Amazing.
There were 40 something states represented, over a dozen countries. And it just ran really, really well. Like it was fantastic. The weather was beautiful. The sun was out. It's a downriver swim. So triathletes, you gotta love a downriver swim.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So fast swim times. And then the bike goes through vineyards and wheat fields and some city streets. And it has a little of everything. It's technically called a rolling course. But it has a couple punchy hills and then some rollers, and then and it's all more towards the start of the race. And the last half is flat and fast.
That's cool.
Yeah, really fun. And then the run is just flat on the bike path along the Columbia River. So it's an out and back. The volunteers there was over 1,000 volunteers.
Wow.
And all the aid stations were well stocked, high energy. Even my high school daughter and her volleyball team were at an aid station. And I asked her what stood out about this race to her. And she said, so many athletes were saying thank you. And I was like,
That's
I
cool.
love that. Like, that is cool. Like, as we should be thanking people that are giving their time and energy. But to hear that from a younger person, it just made my heart so happy.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
What's harder, picking out the last meal you blast off into outer space with Matt Damon, or putting on this event?
Gosh, let me think.
It has to be picking out your last meal. I mean, your choices have been weekends and animal crackers.
Running an event, that's just kind of normal. No, it actually did take a lot of organization and
What were the aid stations stocked with? Rice Krispie treats,
Oh.
Pop-Tarts.
I wish. No, they were like I wish that would be so awesome. They had gosh, I had the basics: the bananas, pretzels, oranges, the electrolytes, water, Coca-Cola, ice. It got a little warm, but not hot. Yeah.
I think if we had an aid station at one of these events that would like at a triathlon, because at ultras you see that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But if at like an Ironman triathlon type of event, if we had like Rice Krispie treats and Oreos and little mini Snickers and Twix bars,
Parmesan cheese,
blocks of Parmesan cheese,
just big blocks.
a 2-gallon bag of animal crackers, like I bet you'd get even more thank yous from the
Yeah.
athletes to the volunteers that are handing them that stuff, without a doubt.
We could be onto something because we have we have a few local triathlon races. Might have to, yeah, add this to them
What
next
do you
year.
have coming up race wise for yourself? Is 2024 done and you're starting to plot out 2025 for yourself? How about your athletes? What are your athletes looking to do?
Oh gosh, I have a little of everything right now. I have some trail runners that are gearing up for some trail races. I have mostly a lot of off season, which we're going to be focusing on strength right now, switching gears, lowering the volume,
Yep.
which is driving some athletes crazy already, which I get
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm kind of driving myself crazy because I don't know what to do next, to be honest. I do have an athlete going down to Indian Wells, which I hear you're doing too, maybe, Jason.
There's a very good chance that I will be heading down to Indian Wells to
Okay.
complete my first 70.3. And I think it's 7 or 8 years at this point. It's been a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's it. This was my first one in 5 years. So
How'd it
I
go?
don't. It was good. It wasn't like
You're not instilling confidence in me pressing the register button here.
it wasn't like it wasn't like lights out amazing. Like this course, I should be doing a sub 5. Let's be honest, and I wasn't. I didn't. But I did okay. I did
Yeah, I
fine.
mean, look, like life changes,
Yeah.
desires, wants, and everything changes. And like, I have zero idea that I would be anywhere near my fastest Ironman times whatsoever.
Yep.
I just want to go and, it's been cool to reconnect with my bike in the last 3 months, which is something I hadn't done in a number of years. And
Hmm.
remembering how much I actually love cycling and going and finding the steepest climbs I can find in this area. And it's been awesome to do that. And so, I say this a lot, right? When you race, it's the victory lap. It's the celebration of all the training you've put in for the days, weeks, months, maybe even years leading up to the
Hmm.
event. And that's how I would look at this. I mean, first of all, the water at Indian Wells is freezing, right? It
It's
is so
so cold. I've done it twice. It's
yeah,
cold.
it's cold. And
Oh,
so if I just get
yeah.
out of the water, that's a victory. Like now
Yeah.
I'll take my time on the bike getting warm, and,
Yeah.
and reheating up before I get out there. So we'll see. I haven't pressed the register button mostly because,
Okay.
life changes and things happen. And I'd hate to put, $500-$600 or whatever the cost is to an
Hmm.
event and then not be able to race it. So, I'm holding off
Sure.
as long as I possibly can before I do that.
Hmm.
Before I get there. But yeah, that's next on the list. And then for me, it's also I'm looking for my next backyard ultra. I love the format. I've done 3 of them, 4 of them maybe, but it's like my Everest because I don't know how to pace myself at that thing. And
Hmm.
so I've
Hmm.
gotten as far as 50 miles. I physically I know I can go further than that. Um,
Oh, yeah.
but I have to remind myself how to pace myself at something like that. And so that's my
Yeah.
Everest. So I'm for one in the, I guess, winter it would be. Is there an event distance or an event type that you're like, this is my Everest. I need to figure out how to conquer this?
I have some things I've never even said them out loud before, so I don't know, but I'll come back to that. But when you talk about backyard, are you talking about the 4.12 mile every
Yeah.
hour on the hour format?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love those too. I've done a couple and they're so fun. I
Yeah.
would love to do another one of those.
They're a
Um,
blast. I did one and across the years, this past Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, New Year's Day thing.
mhm.
But their course is 1.4 miles every 15 minutes. And so it's exactly the same thing.
Oh,
It's exactly the same thing. It's just, it's just shorter time frame to get it in. And it made it a lot harder to because you're like, it's 1 mile. I can run 1 mile. And so you're like, blowing through it. And then, you're wearing yourself out. So, but it's one of the events that I look at every year and I'm like, I need to figure out how to make myself better at this.
The one thing that I've seen, at least the backyards that I've done, the successful athletes or the one that in particular that I'm thinking of, he is a speed walker, like practices speed walking. Like, I don't know, is it like the movement of the hips, or I don't know how to do it, but I've asked him to teach me. I need to reach back to him and I don't know. I've seen that, and he could walk faster than I was jogging in those later hours.
I mean, it's definitely a way to keep your legs fresher for longer. There's no doubt about it. At the Bountiful event, it's a 1 mile loop. And what I did is I power walked the slight inclines there. It's relatively flat, but they have some slight inclines. I power walked the slight inclines at that event and then ran the rest. And I was coming in on those miles, 11 and a half, 12 and a half minutes, which would be ideal, right? If you're doing a backyard ultra style thing is, 13, 14 minutes, because you don't need as much, for me anyway, you don't need as much recovery in between. But I haven't gotten that into my head in actual practice, right?
Okay.
If I finish in 11-minute miles, that's 45 minutes-ish. I've got 15 minutes to recover, and, and then you realize you're just standing there and the blood is pooling. Whereas if you stayed more active, came in like 53, 54 minutes, you get your water and your food, because you can eat while you're running, dude. Duh.
Sure.
Right. It's not like you have to eat it in the space there. So it's definitely one of the things that I'm looking forward to in the new year as an event to get back to and try to see if I can get past the 50-mile mark. So now you have to answer the question.
Well, I'm kind of, so I just got back right before the 70.3 here in Tri-Cities. I was coaching and crewing at a DECA event, which is a 10-time Ironman. And and I've been involved in those for the past few years, from doubles to quintuples, which are 5, and now the 10-time. And I've never gone over an Ironman distance in triathlon. So I am curious about it.
Yes. That's awesome. Keep finding the next challenge. That's what it's all about.
And then the other one is I've done 100 kilometers running in, actually in a backyard. I've never done 100-miler. So, and I was going to, if I didn't get into the Italy race this year, because it was a lottery only selection, I was going to do 100, but I got into Italy. So I went to that. So that's kind of, you've done hundreds, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done 8 of them.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So what do I need to do? What's your advice on getting into them?
Like as in pressing register? Just go to the website.
Oh no, that's too scary. I can't do that.
Send me your credit card. I'll register for you. No, I mean, honestly,
just freaking do it, Jen. Just freaking do it.
I love the 100-mile distance. It's when people ask me what's my favorite distance to race, it's the 100-miler, because I know it's going to take all day, right?
Sure.
And knowing that, it feels like the pressure comes off a little bit, where I know that some miles, make a number up, are going to be a 10-minute mile, and I know other miles might be 25-minute miles. No rhyme or reason to it, but you're out there all day and you're problem solving. And so my tips and my advice for people getting into their first 100-milers is make sure you're eating and drinking constantly. Like, that's your only job. Eat, drink, and move forward, right? If you can do those things, you'll be fine.
Animal crackers, water, and move your feet.
Yeah, Oreos, animal crackers, Rice Krispie treats,
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts. At Cocodona, I had 2 Impossible Whoppers, so get those in too.
Okay.
Because again, it's not like a marathon where you're running as fast as you can. You're going to be doing a lot of power hiking and walking. So get calories in. And I always tell people who ask me these questions about 100 miles, like, think about what you eat in a day when you're not moving constantly. Well, now you're going to be moving constantly. So eat what you would eat in a day and add some to it, right? But I think if you go out there with this idea of this is going to take all day, whatever that all day number is. I've gone as fast as 19 hours. I've gone as
Wow.
it's taken me as long as 28 hours, right? Every race
Okay.
is different. So, but if you
Yeah.
know it's going to take you all day, then you kind of forget about this idea that I have to blast out at the start line and do all of these things. Like, just go run with what the terrain gives you. Talk to the athletes around you as you're out there, commiserate with each other, make each other laugh, have fun, chit chat as much as you can, and recognize that every step forward is another step towards the finish line, and you will get there. I just, I think they're a game changer for your life, that I think gives a lot of people the opportunity to think about their life, things that they would do. And so it's a great time to reflect too. So that would be my advice: is go to the site, press register. You know how to train. You're a coach. You know how to figure all that stuff out. And then on race day, tell yourself, we're out here to have fun. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be a fun time, and enjoy yourself. Like, I don't like, again, it's one of those things, like, of course I'm nervous. I hope I finish. I've DNF'd canyons here as well, but that shit's going to happen too, right? Like, I made it to the 50 mark. I don't think it's a failure to get to a 50K mark on a super hot day with a lot of climbing. And so I just think, just have fun out there and go for it and see what happens. And then just keep going out there and keep going out there and keep going out there, and get yourself a good crew, good pacer, or two pacers, matter, because they will make a difference. The one thing I've recognized about 100 milers is the race starts at the 60-mile mark. Like, a lot of people will at that point have done 100K. And so they'll be like, okay, I got here. And then it dawns on you, holy shit, I got to go another 40 miles. Holy shit. You're like, oh my God. And so if you get to that point, and if you have a good pacer and good crew, I think you'll be great.
I love that. And also something you said on another podcast, the long run, about kind of, I feel like we might be in a similar time in our athletic evolution, the 15 years plus we've been at this, where when you said you just want to be out in nature and free and fresh air, and it's less about those times, and just the experience. And I can kind of relate to that.
Yeah. Like, I haven't had a Strava account in 4 or 5 years. It just like it became less important to me. And it became more important to enjoy my time outdoors. It was my time. It wasn't, I don't need the kudos on, a 1 hour spin trainer ride, like, to know, like, so I get the value of Strava. It's definitely inspiring and motivating for a lot of different people. At this point in my athletic journey and endurance sports, it's not important. That stuff. I get data from Training Peaks and Garmin Connect and all of those other places too. It's about the people in the community. When I see another cyclist going in the other direction, you do the wave or the head nod. Like, that to me is the cool part about doing this stuff for as long as we've done this stuff at this point. Are you a head nodder or a hand waver when you're running or cycling?
Oh, actually, yesterday I was a piecer. I was throwing up. Not on purpose. I just, like, I do it to cars, to people. What I really want to do is a heart, but that'd be dangerous.
If you're riding a bike, for me, it would be absolutely dangerous.
Some people could. My bike handling skills. Well, if I was on a mountain bike, I'd be okay, but not on my TT. So
there's zero chance. I would be eating pavement in a heartbeat. I took both my hands off of the handlebars. No doubt about it. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me on our Fiery Embers. It's always a pleasure to have you on as a guest. We laugh for probably 90% of the time. And I really appreciate that. It's taking the edge off of endurance sports and letting people know that they can have fun doing it. For those of you that are just joining us, this show will be on our Instagram channel here in a few moments. It'll also be on our website and our YouTube channel on Friday. And then I think next Wednesday, a week from today, you'll be able to get it on wherever you get your podcasts, on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review, so great guests like Jennifer are willing to come and chat and laugh with me during our shows. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. And Jennifer, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye, everybody.